And we've got business news now with Nona Peltier here in the studio. Hi Nona, the country's biggest poultry producer Tegels said it's had a drop in profit and it's had flat sales and it's about to be change ownership. So what's the story there?
A lot of drama for Tegel. They've had a challenging year to say the least. So their net profit fell, about 25%. And they made $26.1 million, so that's still a profit, but was down substantially, $10 million of one-time costs associated with the ex-cyclone Gita damaged some of their infrastructure, so that hit them. And then they had some restructuring costs. And on top of that, a Philippine-based poultry producer made a takeover offer for the company and have managed to secure about 62% of the shares. So that's promise, sort of, so to speak. And they have bought some on the market as well. At this stage, it does look like the company is going to fall into foreign ownership. So we'll see what happens with that. But meanwhile, the company is still trading on the market. And so the Philippines-based Bounty Holdings offered $1.23 a share for the company. And, well, one of the largest shareholders in the company said, yeah, we'll take it. And now the independent directors have come out and said, yeah, you know, it's a good deal for shareholders, recommending that they accept it. So you would expect that to go ahead at some point. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at with Tegel.
Yeah, and Air New Zealand, a fare increase today, which we're always interested in, on international travel. I think they put up domestic fares last week.
Yes, well, that wasn't totally unexpected. So overall, the average increase on international fares is going up 3%. Some is going to go more, some are less, depending on the most competitive routes. And just before we started talking there, we do know that there is a lot of competition on some particular routes, for example, into China or even into the United States. There are, Air New Zealand does have competitors there. So one of the ways that they've addressed that is by introducing surcharges on weekend travel and so forth. Now those things can come on and off. So yes, and these fares are going to start coming into effect from this week, June 13th. Now they were signaled earlier this month when the airlines, I guess about 200 of them met in Sydney, talk about issues. And the things that they were talking about were like fuel costs. That's an issue for them, and other kinds of costs. Airport charges, you know, that's one of the things that has been a real issue here in New Zealand. People complaining about the Auckland Airport's fees. They're raising fees. I think it adds, it's not a lot, like it sounds like not a lot, like 16 cents per passenger. You'd think, well, what's that? But it adds up, and they need the money to build a new, a second runway. For example, Auckland Airport only has one, and now they're going to build a second one. All that is going to cost something like, several $1 billion. And so, yeah, all these costs do start to add up for the airline, and the airport and the airlines don't want to pay for it. They're saying, hey, make your shareholders pay for it.
Or the passengers.
Or the passenger. Well, not us, though. We don't want to pay for it. So those costs are just passed right on to customers, and that's what we're seeing here.
And what's happened on the markets today?
Well, you know, we had another record close today, so we up about 1/4%, which is significant because the markets are unsettled, as you would be not surprised given what happened over the weekend with the G7 meeting in Quebec with Donald Trump leaving early and basically saying, trade war, well, trade is definitely an issue, and the markets were unsettled by that. No one knows exactly what's going to happen. And then he's got a meeting with his in North Korea, the North Korean meeting in Singapore. Some people are speculating whether that's going to amount to anything. So there's a lot of uncertainty in Asia.
But for us, those markets keep going up, don't they, in New Zealand?
Yeah, so so the Asian markets were a little bit weak when they opened up. They've recovered a bit, but ours, I was looking at it late this afternoon. It looked a little bit less, little changed, but it finished on a strong note, up 1/4% to, that's 21 points up to 8,960. So we're knocking on 9,000 as a index high. That's close, and that would be substantial. Now, sometimes, when you look at prices at these levels, some of our blue chip companies are looking quite expensive. And so we're starting to see some indications from analysts indicating that this might be a time to take some profits, but we're not seeing that yet. So that remains to be seen. On our dollar, interestingly, we gained a little bit again in late trading, 70.4 US cents, 92.5 Australian and 52.5 pence.
Thank you very much. That's Nona Peltier with Business there.